All right. Welcome to the Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. We honor you wherever you are on your spiritual path and know that there is something special this morning for each and every one of you. I have, as usual, I have an excerpt from a book that I really love. One of my favorite authors is Mark Nepo, who always has something super interesting to say in his books. This one is called The Endless Practice. And it is wonderful, and there's a particular passage that I think is appropriate for this welcome. And the title of it is Happiness and the Ache. We've created a culture that is emotionally out of balance. Consider the well-earned phrase in the Declaration of Independence that says we have an inalienable right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This stands as one of the most important societal declarations in human history. The notion that freedom is a birthright is, in a secular sense, sacred. Yet over the past 240 years, the pursuit of happiness has been taken to such an extreme that we feel entitled to happiness. This has made the dream of happiness as a refuge to which we run to avoid the rest of the human journey. Frankly, happiness is overrated. I like being happy, but it's a welcome mood and not the basis of a moral code. Happiness is one of 1,000 feelings, and under it, and all the other human feelings, is the depth of being alive. And there's a lot more in this book about being alive, except now is not the time to talk about it. Let's see, who is the speaker giving the? Oh, Michael Hart. And Michael Hart will join us for our morning blessing after the song. Thank you very much.
You all know this chant. I am alive. I am alive. I am a light in this world. I am a light. I am a light. I am a light in this that I see and hear and feel is God. All that I see, all that I hear, all that I feel is God. All that I have, and all that I do, and all that I am is God. And all that I see, all that I hear, all that I feel is God. And all that I have, all that I do, and all that I am is God.
Something is moving, and it moves in the farthest reaches of space, from whence this planet looks smooth as glass. And it moves in all the protuberances that are really there, the mountains, the canyons, the valleys. And it moves under the seas and the landscapes that are down in its depths and rising up to create, to birth islands. And through all of its movement, all it has to move is itself. That pattern of perfection, that beingness, that life, whose first law is order, which creates all things according to its pattern of perfect order, harmony, balance, peace, and recreates all things so that even what does not appear orderly in this moment can and will be rewoven into the knowing of order wherever it is received. And I am a part of this. I am one protuberance, one cell in the body of that life that is always, always moving. It flows through me as I flow through it. And as I know this for myself, so I know it for each one within the sound of my voice. Each one is a place that may not be seen truly from afar, but is surely seen up close. And at the core and center of each one, that order reigns always, is never touched or damaged, limited or obstructed or ill in any way. And so I declare a new knowing of this. I call forth that within each one that knows and that knows that it knows, so that in this moment, their consciousness is flooded with an awareness of that orderliness, of that good, of that wholeness that is the truth of life everywhere, in everything, in the consciousness of this microphone, in the consciousness of the floor, in the consciousness of the animals, the plants, the people, all species. All life, animate and inanimate, has some sort of that consciousness of order, running through, flowing through, becoming and reshaping it. So I call forth that opening in consciousness that enables each one to release any hesitation, any doubt, so that each one might find that wholeness in every realm: abundance, loving connection, health, peace, joy, power, freedom, creativity. All realms whole, complete, intimately and ineradicably connected. All realms flourishing even when they appear not to be. And I celebrate this. I celebrate that in each one that is willing to be here, now, fully who and what they are. And I release this, my word, to the law's activity, that law of order that always and forever delights in expressing itself, in expressing its own life in ever new ways. I simply let it be. And so
all that I is God. And all that I have, and all that I do, and all that I am is God. And all that I am is God. You all sound so beautiful. So it's my privilege to welcome my good friend Amitabh to the stage. And we've done a lot of great things together, mostly around music. And so anyway, yeah, it's great to have you back here. And please welcome Ami.
Morning, everybody. I usually bring my acoustic guitar. I brought my electric and my looper today. We'll see what happens with this. I think it'll go well though.
Because you're gonna sing with us. That's why it's gonna go well. You ready to sing? Yeah, all right. Let's do it.
So this song is based on the Sanskrit mantra, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. May all beings be happy, and we hope you'll sing it with us. 1, 2, 3. May all be happy. May all be free. May we live in love and harmony. May all be happy. May all be free. May we live in love and harmony. Please try that with us. May all be happy. May all be free. May we live in love. Here's the other part.
Harmony.
Only one community. Only one family. Only one community. One light, one love, one family. May all be happy. May all be free. May we live in love and harmony. May all be happy. May all be free. May we live. May you be happy. Turn to the person on your right. May you be happy. May you be free. May you live in love and harmony. Turn to your person on your left. May you be happy. May you be free. May you live in love and harmony. One spark of light, and you and me. One light, one love, one family. One spark of light, and you and me. One light, one love, one family. May all be happy. May all be free. May we live in love and harmony. May all be happy. May all be free. May we live in love and harmony. Here we go. May all be happy, may all be free, may we live in love and harmony. May all be happy, may all be free, may we live in love and harmony. All be happy, may all be free, may we live in love and harmony. Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ami, Bodhi, and Amanda. Thank you. That was great. That was fun, wasn't it? Yeah. By the way, I just want to say, inspired by Suzanne here in the front, if you feel in the midst of some music that you'd like to jump up and boogie, please do. You know, we're not known as an organization for our staid behavior. So let it rip. But do remain clothed. I do ask you that you remain clothed. Okay. Now, for those of you who are here for the first time, please don't be frightened off by what I just said, because that was not my intention. We have at the front people from our membership team who are here to greet and welcome you. And we're not going to make you stand up and give a speech or do a tap dance or anything like that. What we want to do is let you know how much we love and appreciate that you chose to be here with us today, with family or friends or on your own. And so, if you give a wave, we're going to bring you a little packet of information. There's a blue card in there. This is important now. There's a blue card in there. If you fill it out and turn it in, you're going to get a free one of these little blue books. What Religious Science Teaches, a New Thought Primer, which will give you an idea of who we are and what we teach and what our organization believes in. And just free for showing up and filling out your blue card. So give us a wave. You won't even have to stand up if you are here for the first time this morning. Yes, Bob's son back here is here for the first time. Yay, Victor. Thank you. We'll make sure you get your booklet when you turn in your blue card. And hello to everybody streaming this morning with us. I'm Reverend Mary Marie Shelton. Clearly, I'm not Reverend Carol Huntley. Carol is at home getting ready for her wedding, and our house is full of Brits. And I mean, every bedroom is full of people. So much so that when I woke up this morning, I realized that the office that I've used next door, which has been transferred back into a bedroom again, that all my clothes are in that closet, but that bedroom is full of sleeping people. And so I had to quickly figure out, what do I actually have in this bedroom that I can wear? So I hope I look decently put together this morning. Yes, indeed, it's an interesting time, and everything is kind of up in the air. But she sends her love, and we're doing this lovely little family wedding in the backyard on Tuesday, and it should be fabulous. All right, so how many of you in here are golfers? Anybody in here is a golfer? Okay, good. So you may appreciate this, and the rest of you who know of golf or golfing or golfers may also relate to this. Somebody years ago told me this story about a couple of foursomes that went out to play one morning, and they agreed that they were going to meet back at the clubhouse for lunch when they finished their rounds. But for some reason or other, the second foursome got back first, and they waited for a long time for the first foursome to get back to the clubhouse. And finally, one guy dragged in, and he looked like he'd been run over by something. And one of the guys in the first foursome said, "What happened to you? We've been waiting for you guys forever, it seems like." And he said, "Well, on the fourth hole, Harry had a heart attack. And after that, it was hit the ball, drag Harry. Hit the ball, drag Harry." Sometimes we're not well prepared to adapt to the demands of the moment. We're so committed to our pattern or to our past or what we were looking forward to that when the moment presents itself and introduces itself to us as something completely different, we're not really present there to receive it or to experience it. And this can be a problem. So in our series this month, we are following with the rest of the Centers for Spiritual Living in the theme of 100 years of science of mind. So religious science, science of mind, Centers for Spiritual Living, we use all those terms to describe ourselves and talk about what we teach and believe. And our founder, Ernest Holmes, published his first book 100 years ago. It was before he was ever doing church, but that's 100 years of science of mind. And actually, it's not a new teaching, as we know. It grew out of all kinds of Greek philosophy and other philosophies and experiences, but 100 years of the way that he languaged it and taught it. This month, our theme is where humanity and divinity meet. And this morning, what I'm talking about is what will tomorrow look like in your world? What will tomorrow look like in your world? So, what if we have no future? And what if we have no past? And we have only this moment right now? Because what's true is that yesterday is a check that we've already cashed. So we're not going to get any more money out of yesterday. We're not going to get any more juice out of yesterday. That power has moved on. And tomorrow is a promissory note. So we can't collect on it yet. It hasn't happened. It isn't here. It's out there somewhere. But we are in this moment now, this today moment. So today is the moment where all the creative power, the creative medium is. It's all right here. It is our point of power. And so we want to bring ourselves back again and again to this present moment, because this is where we're effective, right here. When we're reminiscing or feeling bad about the past, when we're anxious or really anticipating of the future, we've stepped outside of what's really available to us in order to create, in order to bring forth the next moment. So tomorrow, depending on where we've got our attention, could look exactly like today. It could look worse. It could look better. But how it looks is entirely dependent upon this moment now, because vibration is always in the present moment. When we were singing with Bodhi this morning, all that I see, all that I hear, all that I feel is God. Those are all vibrations. All that I have, all that I do, all that I am is God. They're all vibrations. Vibration is always in the present. This is where we experience it. And so this is where we see and hear. Everything else is a memory or a fantasy or an imagination. But vibration is here versus pining over previous successes, that aren't there anymore, or thinking that we're going to change later. I want, God give me patience, but not yet. Or make me a good kid, but not yet because I'm having a really good time. That sort of thing. I'll get there. Eventually it'll be better because I'll be better, but not yet. So Ernest Holmes said, every man is the cause of his own experience, whether he knows it or not. We are all carrying the negative experiences of our past into the future merely because we have not disconnected them from our minds. If we are creating a negative future, it's because we have not changed our thought about it. We drag the past to the future, barely pausing in the present, because we assume and expect it will be the same. Now, I shouldn't say we like I'm speaking for all of you, but I know that this is a habit that I can fall into. This is a rut that I can get stuck in myself. Anybody else relate to this? So what we want to be able to do is be available to the opportunity of the moment. The truth is, you probably really don't know what might happen when you walk out the door today. You really don't know what's going to happen in the very next moment. But we're so used to having built up our lives that we're not actually anticipating something being entirely different, much better or much worse. The difference between a fantasy and a vision is action. The difference between a fantasy and a vision is action. And so, when we want to create something in our experience, you can imagine anything. Your imagination is not bound by time or space. You can imagine anything. So when you're imagining what you want your future to be like, then what we can do as we're opening up to that possibility is also imagine, what would it feel like? What would it feel like if I were inhabiting that right now? What would I be thinking? What would I be doing? What would I be feeling? What would I be seeing and hearing? What would I be welcoming into my life? What would that be like for me? So we try it on, rather than holding it as a possibility for something that's a future we can never have. Do you know what I mean? That kind of, well, you know, I'm 82 now, and so this is all there is. Or whatever it might be. You know, I'm 14 now, so this is all there is. When I was 19, I thought I was finished. I discovered that wasn't true, but it took me a while to figure that out. Arthur Compton, who's a Nobel Prize-winning physicist, said, "Every great discovery I ever made, I gambled that the truth was there, and then I acted on it in faith until I could prove its existence." Let me say that again. Every great discovery I ever made, I gambled that the truth was there, and then I acted on it in faith until I could prove its existence. This is how everything comes into being. You imagine it, and you take a step toward it. That's what we want to be able to do. So we need to dream, actually, over the vision. Just like this little boy is looking out his window into the universe, we need to dream over the vision, not as a fantasy, but as something we can take in and embody and feel before it's even in form. Something that we practice, something that we open to and catch so it becomes more and more real in our feeling of its presence, not necessarily exactly its form. I used to say in my Science of Mind classes, I had a practitioner, Paul Corbett, who would assist me, and his wife Sherry was also a practitioner. And when I was teaching foundations class, I used to say, when you want a relationship in your life, if you're treating for a specific person to be your person, that's probably not going to work. Like I said, if I want a relationship and I look at Paul and I think he's the embodiment of what a relationship should be, so I want to treat for a relationship with Paul, well, that could be problematic. Paul's already married to Sherry. But what I really want is what I imagine the experience would be if I were in that relationship. That's what I want. Not the person, the experience. Does that make sense? So what we want to embody is the experience we want, and let the universe and the infinite take care of the details, because creative law knows how to do that much better than we do. But when we align ourselves with the feeling, we come into sympathetic vibration with it, it begins to know us, and it can find us that way. So we want to open to catch that vision and to dream over it, to develop it, and then we want to take a step toward it. Whatever the first step might be, we want to take a step toward it. Ernest Holmes said, "Inspiration without application is hallucination." Inspiration without application is hallucination. And so for me, the clue to creativity starts with our imagination, not fantasy, but imagination that we ground by stepping toward what we've envisioned, by stepping toward it. So we need to be able to make a choice. What is it that we really want? For example, are we open to being influenced by someone else? Do we want, really, a mentor to reflect the truth back to us, to help us reveal and accept and receive and express the power that we are? Or do we want a sympathetic reinforcement of our misery? Somebody who will reinforce our powerlessness by saying, yep, that's really awful, that's too bad, it's never going to be different, I'm really sorry for you, I'm glad I'm not stuck where you are, and pretty soon you leave not feeling uplifted at all by that conversation. You thought you're going to get some good sympathy out of it, and maybe you do initially. That's probably why we do it in the first place, because we kind of need a oh poor you before we can open up to what's next. But oh poor you is not where we want to hang out, because we're draining our power away by doing that. So get the sympathy you need, and then find somebody who can reflect the truth back to you, remind you of who you are, and help you get in alignment with that by being willing to receive that help and be influenced. Do we want reruns? Do we want previews? Or do we want to have the full creative expression of what we are? See, I believe that we're creating all the time, but the only thing that we're actually capable of creating is abundance. So you can't create lack. It isn't a thing. It's the absence of something, right? But you can create an abundance of the experience of lack or anything else. You can create an abundance of the experience. And what we want to do is create an abundance of the experience that we want even before the thing we think would make us feel that way shows up. So we're already dwelling in it before it even comes. Maybe it doesn't even matter if it comes, if we dwell in it, although we could get locked up, I suppose, at some point. But embracing where we want to move to. Is this making sense? You with me here so far? Okay. Our founder, Ernest Holmes, said in Ideas for Living, when life created us, it gave us the two great endowments of God, the two highest gifts of heaven, love and creativity. Love, so that we may have confidence in life, a sense of security, and peace and joy in living. And creativity, so that we can really live as persons and express ourselves individually. These are our two great gifts, love and creativity. Rumi said, let the beauty we love be what we do. So we want to embrace that, the love and creativity that we are, to come into that place. And that power of co-creation happens partly when we relax and let it happen through us. The Father within is doing the work, is doing his work. In some translations it says is doing his work here. The Father within, the Father who dwells in me always, is doing his work here. We need to sometimes get out of the way and let the work happen, rather than struggling so hard to try and make it happen. Is this ring true? It sounds familiar, yes? In my favorite book of Holmes's, he wrote, expectancy. Now, not expectation, because that's very specific, right? Expectancy speeds progress. Therefore, live in a continual state of expectancy. No matter how much good you're experiencing today, expect greater good tomorrow. Expect to meet new friends. Expect to meet new and wonderful experiences. Try this magic of expectancy, and you will soon discover a dramatic side to your work, meaning your spiritual work, your prayer work, your treatment work, which gives full vent to constructive feeling. It makes life a game that is a joy to play. It enables you to enter into the spirit of things and of people. So, let's use the power that we have, the power that we've been given, the power that can't go anywhere else. You can't lose it. If God is all there is, and God is omnipresent, then the creative law is everywhere, omnipresent, all the time, always, also. That means right where you are, all of the creative power of the universe resides. It never went anywhere. You didn't lose it. You may have forgotten to use it in the way that you want to and know how to, but it hasn't gone anywhere, and it will not fail you, because it's always saying yes. It doesn't have that capacity for criticism and hurt feelings and grudges and judgment. So it doesn't say, well, you know, you haven't been using me very positively for the last couple of years, so I'm really not sure I have anything to say to you now. Not at all. The minute we turn toward it, it's like, yes, yes, Master, what would you like? Yes, how may I serve you? What are we going to embrace? What are we going to embody together, here, now? Ralph Waldo Emerson said, the only person you're destined to become is the person you decide to be. And Don Miguel Ruiz said, all of us are artists, and what we are creating is the masterpiece that is our life. It doesn't matter so much what we make and leave in the world if we go through our lives in a constant state of turmoil and misery. That's not really what life is here for. We want to be in that creative expression of who and what we are, somehow, in some way. And so I want to share a little story with you about this. So first let me say, we don't need to wait to get any better to use the power. We don't need to improve. We don't need to learn treatment better. I mean, do take the classes, of course, but the truth is, how you know it right now, you don't need to wait to begin. Do it now. And that will allow us to loosen and dissolve some of those false beliefs that are the blocks, and to welcome the empowered creating, to welcome the next moment, even if it's completely different than what we thought. So we know what to do with Harry, or we know what to do with $1 million that shows up, or we know what to do with the love of our life that suddenly appears in our experience, or we know what to do with a diagnosis or retirement or some other major change. We develop our expectancy and faith muscles through this practice. And here's, I think, a comforting thing, what I'm going to share with you last. And this is about caterpillars and butterflies. You know, I like to talk about them sometimes. But every once in a while I learn something new about the whole process, and I just love it. It's so amazing. So this is true science I'm going to share with you here. A caterpillar crunches its way through its ecosystem, cutting a swath of destruction by eating as much as 100 times its weight in a day, until it is too bloated to continue and hangs itself up, upside down, in a J shape, and its skin hardens into the chrysalis. So unlike a moth that weaves a cocoon, the chrysalis is actually the body of the caterpillar that has hardened. And inside this chrysalis, deep inside the caterpillar's body, there are tiny little cells that biologists call imaginal discs or imaginal cells, and they begin to form. Now, this is the beginning of something that is a completely different genome from the caterpillar. I know of no other creature, maybe dragonflies, that where this is true. It's a completely different genome. So what happens when these imaginal discs begin to form is the caterpillar's immune system attacks them because it recognizes them as foreigners, and it snuffs them out. No immigration here, boy. It snuffs them out as soon as they show up. But that actually accelerates the process. And so they keep coming faster and faster and linking up with each other, and eventually the caterpillar's immune system is overcome by these imaginal cells, and it fails from the stress of trying to fight these imaginal cells. And the imaginal cells eat up and turn this all the inner organs of the caterpillar into jello, basically, just like goo. So the caterpillar did not foresee this coming, I'm thinking. But now, you know, there's no way back. It's either jello or forward. And so the caterpillar has to let go of what it was completely. Even its identity, even its genome is gone. And these imaginal cells, this soupy meltdown of all the caterpillar's internal organs, the butterfly, the developing butterfly, feeds on those and grows out of that. And it took a long time for biologists to understand the reason for the immune system attack on these butterfly cells. But when they discovered the butterfly has its own unique genome that's carried by the caterpillar, somehow inherited long ago in evolution, but not part of the caterpillar as such. So if we see ourselves as imaginal discs, working to build the butterfly of a better world, a better life, a better experience, we can understand that we are becoming a new genome. Each day maybe, each moment maybe, because this is based on our choice, our decision, how this happens. But it wants to happen, it's trying to happen. And one of the things that I think is comforting about this model, this understanding, is that even our resistance is beneficial to our process. So even if we've been resisting really hard, it actually helps to make what's coming stronger by making that wave increase in its coming to us until we finally surrender. Now, the truth about us is we don't have to completely collapse to surrender. We do sometimes. You know, if you've ever been completely burned out or wound up in the hospital because you've been overwhelmed with life and work and family and haven't thought about taking care of yourself, I've been there. If that happens, then, you know, your imaginal cells finally just had to knock you down and say, it's time for you to imagine something different, because this is not working. So I want to encourage you this way in a couple of things for this coming week. First of all, to really use the creative power in you to imagine the next unfoldment you'd like to see in your life. And imagine into it, what would it feel like to inhabit that, to try it on, to experiment with it, to walk around where you live for a while in that beingness of who you would be in that experience, and just see if those imaginal cells begin to spark something. Then when your resistance comes up, rather than feeling bad about it or resisting the resistance, you can say, oh good, it's happening. The change is happening because I'm really feeling resistant right now. This is a way in which everything can be made right in the midst of what it is. In the midst of what it is, no matter what it looks like. So I send to you love and greetings from Reverend Carol, and I extend to you my own in gratitude for this opportunity to share these thoughts with you this morning. May you dream over your vision and create it quickly. Namaste. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Yay. Thank you. Where am I here? Oh, that's interesting. There we go. These were the ones you didn't get to see. Or not. Well, anyway, use the power within. Not now. I've got 3 in there. Maybe it stopped working. That might have been why I didn't get those when I thought I was getting them. Okay, and let's go to the next one. Inner work. All right. It's time for the inner work. So let's turn within right now. And however you're feeling this morning, I'm going to invite you to put your attention on the place in your body that feels the best in this moment. Comparatively speaking, that feels the best. And put your hands over your heart and just inwardly bless that place in you that feels the best. And say to it with great appreciation, thank you, please continue. Thank you, please continue. And say to your resistance, thank you, please continue, but not too long. And say to the dream and vision, thank you, please continue. And recognize that under your hands is God. I don't just mean your heart. And the hands are God. And you are that divine expression as well. So we take this inner work into us in love, and we let it manifest in our lives as beauty, as joy, as happiness, as creativity, as wonder, as newness, in the now. And so it is. Thank you, practitioners, for coming up and surrounding us. Yes.
Saviturvareniam Bargo Devasya Dhimahi Dio Yona Prachodayat Om Bhurbuva Swaha Tatsaviturvareniam Bargo Devasya Dhimahi Dio Yona Prachodayat Gate Gate Pada Gate Pada Samgate Bodhi Swaha Gate Gate Pada Gate Pada Samgate Bodhi Swaha Om Bhurbuva Swaha Tatsaviturvareniam Bargo Devasya Dhimahi Dio Yona Prachodayat Om Bhurbuva Swaha Tatsaviturvareniam Bargo Devasya Dhimahi Dio Yona Prachodayat Om Bhurbuva Swaha Tatsaviturvareniam Bargo Devasya Dhimahi Dio Yona Prachodayat Om Bhurbuva Swaha Tatsaviturvareniam Bargo Devasya Dhimahi Dio Yona Prachodayat.
Maya? Hi. I want to thank you both. Thank you so much for the music and their gifts. And I want to say I'm demonstrating abundance. And I'm demonstrating a creativity because I have created an abundance of food at my house. And I hope the ushers will come forward so we can share your abundance. Okay.
Yes.
May the ushers collect our abundance.
It's a really easy song. Please help us sing it if you would like to. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now repeats. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Pouring down, your love is pouring down. Your love is pouring down. Your love is pouring down. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, pouring down. Pouring down. Your love is pouring down. Oh, your love is pouring down. Yeah, your love is pouring down.
We need about an hour on that song, don't we? Let's sing it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pouring down. Your love is pouring down.
Yeah.
Your love is pouring.
Oh, your love is pouring down. Yeah, your love is pouring
down.
Is there anybody
Your
that's
love
thankful for anything out there? Can you call out one thing if you're thankful for something? Marin County, what else? All right. We'll sing it one last time. Here we go. Pouring down.
Thank you.
Your love is pouring down.
Thank you.
Oh, your love is. Oh, your love is pouring down. Yeah,
Your love is
oh, your love is pouring down.
Your love.
Wow. Thank you. So, this gift I give is God in action. I now send it forth to bless and to prosper. I know that everywhere it goes, it is creating a world living in love, one heart, one thought at a time. So is it.
Oh, no, never mind. I thought it would work, but thank you, Jett. Maybe next time. All right, this is time for our announcements. And first I want to say we are grateful for you, all of you who are here this morning. Thank you for being here with us. It wouldn't have been the same without you. Thank you, Amitaban. Ami, we'll just say Ami, get it right. Bodhi and Amanda for the wonderful music. Yes. Thank you, Bob Gordon as welcome man, and Michael Hart as practitioner. Thank you, Jim, back there for the setup so consistently every single week. And thank you, Ron and Tom over here for the same every single week. And Ceci, thank you all the practitioners over here at the table who are available for brief prayers with you after the service. And a special thanks this morning to the Frost family that did this altar. You know, they had kind of a general idea about what it was, but I want you to notice this. Ganesha is on the right. Ganesha is the one who is the manifestation of Shiva, who destroys that which is no longer useful, so you can't cling to the past when Shiva's around. And then on the other side, we have the Buddha in prayer and meditation, and a crystal ball, which is like gazing into your future. But right here in the center is the person with their chakras all opened up and the light that they are in this living space with the crystals at the front. So come up and take a look at it, and let's thank the Frost family for this beautiful manifestation this morning. And thank you, all of you, everyone. And thank you to our snacks team, and I'm not sure who's in charge today. Who? Mary J, Marcy, Galen, and Mark. They're in the kitchen. So yay. We're ready for food. All right. Julie, where's Julie? Julie, would you come up? Julie has a special announcement to share. And that's the next one there, Ceci.
Thank you, Reverend Mary. Thank you to all of you. In the bulletin today is a short write-up about the REST program. This has been a 10-year effort in Marin County to shelter overnight during the winter and feed a hot meal to homeless people. This is homeless men and homeless women. Churches, about 35 to 40, volunteered over the years to house homeless men. Homeless women were in a shelter owned by the county every night. The churches rotated every night during the summer. For the last 4 years of the 10, Golden Gate has been involved with that. And I'd like to especially recognize Mary Cosgrove, who is in the back.
In the kitchen.
Right. And Suzanne Karsh, our boogie lady here, who was also involved.
Boogie lady.
And I would like to ask anyone here who volunteered by donating money or food or service on Sunday nights as needed, or who signed up and were not able to go, or who included us in your prayers, would you please stand up so we see who you are? Look at that. Thank you all so very much. The program is taking a different direction. The funding has ended, but the Board of Supervisors of Marin County is now looking at permanent housing for homeless people, a different direction that has worked in other cities. So if you support that, call your supervisor and let them know you do support that. Find out what's going on. And in the meantime, I understand that here at Golden Gate, there's also efforts to find an outreach program in the community that we could become involved in. I'm sure there'll be announcements about that at some point, and please watch the bulletin for that. And if you're so inclined, please join in with that. Again, thank you everybody.
And thank you, Julie. Yes, thank you, Julie, as well. All right. There I am. You notice, I'm sure, and you may have even watched some of our streaming video from time to time when you've been at home or out of town or been homesick or something. We have an interesting experience going on with our laptop, our camera, and the software. Basically, they're kind of on hospice care right now. Now, this is an announcement that Reverend Sarah wanted to make, but she has a memorial today, so she kind of left me a script. So let me say what she said, because she said it very well. The laptop and camera we have served us well for many years, but now they're just about on life support and are in dire need of replacement. Tom Merrill has done his best to keep the equipment working, but he's told the Leadership Council that the camera and laptop have outlived their usefulness and are pretty close to hospice. We want to continue to provide online access to our Sunday messages, so we need to buy replacement equipment. Now, I wonder if I can get, so this is the camera, right? This is the laptop. This is the software. We don't need to worry about YouTube or the router, that's handled, but we need the camera and or the encoder. We need the camera and the laptop for sure, and then, Tom will take the time and Ron, I guess, to learn the new software. So this is where you come in. The estimated cost is about $3,000 for a suitable laptop and camera. And we'd like to be able to do it as efficiently and effectively as possible, so we are specifically asking for your help. You're going to see that a donation box has magically appeared over here on the education table. I believe that's where it's supposed to be. And we're asking all of you who are able to do so to make a generous donation toward that equipment. You guys did such an amazing job at manifesting the sound equipment. For the longest time, it seemed like that just wasn't going to be possible, and yet it happened. So I think that we can do this too. Do you think so? I think we can do this. And also, if any of you have a MacBook Pro, Tom? MacBook Pro that's less than 2 years old, talk to Tom Merrill, because he can let you know if it actually would meet the requirements for streaming. And now, some of you in here may also be techie, nerdy, geeky types like me who like technology. If you are, talk to Tom Merrill and Ron, because they would love to teach you how to do that and be part of that team. It's really fun, but not if you have to do it every single Sunday for the rest of eternity. So we are welcoming, encouraging, exhorting, as my priest used to say when I was a kid, you to consider jumping on board as part of the tech team as well. Okay, thanks. I was very long-winded on that. Next, Bodie and Vlad and Gabe have a concert coming up May 4th. I think, is that Friday? Friday in Fairfax. It's on a love offering basis. Talk to Bodie if you want details about that. All of you who are Taurus babies, those in the sign of the bull, it's your time. And so you, as a member of Golden Gate, get a free practitioner session. So stop at the practitioner table, pick up a form to fill out so that you can set it up to get your full free practitioner session for your birthday celebration. Jett was up here a little while ago referring to all the food at her house. It is the 5th Sunday of the month, and Jett is hosting a brunch at her house today. You don't have to bring food, but you do need to carpool, because she doesn't have an abundance of parking, but she has an abundance of food. So if you go hungry and you don't carpool, you may be disappointed because you won't be able to get in and eat this wonderful food. And Jett will be disappointed because she'll have too many leftovers. So talk to her if you need more information, but that's the basics on that one. It's today. Okay, the really big finish. Now, Reverend Carol has put together 3 workshops based on your requests. And the first one is May 27th. It's spoon bending. And you can sign up for that workshop today. I've done spoon bending, believe me, you can do it. And it's fun to learn how that works to do that. So she'll be teaching that. And I also want to let you know that, now this is important too, for those of you that interact with the office at any time during the week, there's not a slide for this week, from this Tuesday through Monday, the office will be closed. Ceci's taking some needed time off, so it's going to be closed for the week. just so you know. So there'll be a, recording and all that, but she won't be in the office and there won't be anybody in there. Okay, and finally, we're doing a Bon Voyage soiree for Reverend Carol on Saturday, July 21st, right here from 6 to 9 p.m. Now, the soiree itself is not a surprise for her, but the gift is, so don't tell that there's going to be a gift and you can donate at the box on the education table. So I guess we have, you can gift all sorts of stuff over there today if you like. So that's coming up. And Deborah, where is Deborah? Did you want to say something about it? Anything specific about this soiree that is coming up? Deborah is our events coordinator, and doesn't she look great in this jacket too?
Thank you.
Good morning, Deborah.
Is it on?
Yes.
This is taking shape. This is exciting, and we do have 2 different boxes, one for the soiree and one for the gift, if you're putting cash in. There's also a form over there that Ceci has put together where you can add your credit card and check off the box what it's for, either the gift or the soiree. We are putting together this event, and it is going to be a bit costly. On July 21st, this place is going to transform into a wonderful cocktail party with music and champagne. So if we could ask you to donate to the soiree, our first donation has been $1,000.
Oh, yay. Wonderful.
And we need many more $1,000 to pull this off. So
right.
I appreciate all your help. Thank you.
Yay. Thank you very much, Deborah. That's lovely. That's lovely. All right, and that's it for the announcement. So please stand and join us for the affirmation and the closing song. And I hope I didn't forget anything. So, along with me now. Today, is there? Yes. Today, I consciously and powerfully let go of the past and create my next moment from love. I nurture high expectancy and deep receptivity to greater good than I have ever experienced. I welcome the flow of ideas and opportunities that come to me abundantly, and I use them wisely. Yes. Everything I need to know about what lies before me, everything that I need to know about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me through the mind of God within me. Do everything I need to do about what lies before me, everything I need to do about what lies before me is available to me, is available to me through the mind of God within me, through the mind of God within me.